In an industry obsessed with fame, MF Doom turned anonymity into power, from his humbling beginnings in New York to now having one of the most diehard fan bases I've ever seen. But exactly how did this man behind a mask become a legend while breaking every rule in the book? In this video, I'm gonna go over MF Doom's life in a way you've never seen it before. If I were you, I'd grab a snack, because this story is crazy. But before we get into it, let's talk about today's video sponsor, Skillshare. Whether you're trying to learn how to write bars, produce, or just level up your hustle in general, Skillshare's got the classes to help you perfect your craft. And if you click the link below, you actually get a 1-week free trial of Skillshare. Now, back to the story. July 13th, 1971, Daniel Doomsday, better known as MF Doom, was born in London, England. He was the son of a Trinidadian mother and a Zimbabwean father. When asked about how he ended up being born in the UK, Doom responded that he has family out there, and that his mother was visiting her sister when he was born. Due to this, MF Doom has always had British citizenship, and actually never had citizenship in America. As a kid, Doom's family moved to Long Island, New York. When asked about his childhood, Doom states that his parents would play world music, and recalls Stevie Wonder's Superstition as the song he became obsessed with after hearing his parents play it. And this wouldn't be the only role his parents played in his music career later in life, because if you didn't know, his parents were Black nationalists, which was a political and social movement by Black Americans who were seeking to empower their communities by chasing economic independence and political sovereignty. This greatly impacted Doom. Therefore, when he began rapping with his brother Subroc under the group name KMD, their early music showed themes of Black empowerment. And at the age of 19, Doom could even be seen speaking with the mayor about the importance of youth voting.
So we're from the rap group KMD. Now, I'm 19 years old, right? And before 3 months ago, when I first met Steve Barr, I really knew nothing about politics. I didn't deal with it. I wasn't into it, right? But on the other hand, I was into cars, or I knew what kind of car I would like to get, or, you know what I'm saying? So, when he introduced me to this the motor voter bill, as soon as he introduced me to it, I saw the change it could make in me, because it made the change in me as soon as, the first day he introduced me to the bill.
KMD's second studio album, Black Bastard, was especially politically charged, with the cover art literally showing a black cartoon being lynched. The album itself was full of masterful raps about the life of a young Black man in New York, laid over beats that were way ahead of its time. And although the album was recorded in 1993, it didn't come out for almost a decade later, due to multiple factors, including the death of Subroc, MF Doom's brother. You see, the day was April 23rd, 1993, and Subroc was driving on the Nassau Expressway, where he was tragically struck by a motorist. Now, there's not a lot of information about his death, but in his eulogy, Doom said he was a sweet son and nephew. He was the illest brother and best friend. He touched the lives of everyone he came in contact with, and influenced many through his music. And if this wasn't hard enough for Doom, who was going by Zevlov X at the time, KMD would get dropped from their label, Elektra Records, which put a big nail in the coffin for the album they were working on. Rumors state that Elektra Records didn't want to release the album due to its controversial cover art, which probably made the white executives in the office feel some sort of guilt while looking at it. At this point, MF Doom did what most of us would do in this situation, which is become reclusive after being overwhelmed with all this new grief. Doom has spoke on this time, saying he was damn near homeless. He also said that he would walk the street and sleep on benches while living off the barest of necessities, which was literally a few old records, his faith, and the occasional beer. MF Doom calls these times the lost years, and said although it was a really dark time, he knew he was going to get his regardless. That's because he felt that he was just as good, and if not better, than the rappers who were popping off at the time. Although at this point, he was years removed from KMD and Zevlov X, which meant he needed to find a new identity. And this is when he came up with MF Doom. MF standing for Metal Face, and the Doom being a play on his last name, Doomsday, as well as a nod to Dr. Doom from the Marvel Comics, which if you know anything about MF Doom, you know he loved comics. And during his lost years, he would often read them. Intrigued by how they were written, one thing he noticed was that the bad guy was usually not really a bad guy if you looked at things from his perspective. So he had the bright idea to do this exact same thing, but in rap. And on October 16th, 1999, just a couple weeks before Halloween, MF Doom dropped Operation Doomsday, which was his declaration of war against the industry. On the intro, he sampled together a bunch of clips from various TV shows and movies, which is something he learned from his KMD days with his brother. And during his first verse, he let it be known that rappers were better off just falling off because he was in the game now. Numbers wise, the album didn't really do well at all due to how small of an artist MF Doom was at the time. But slowly and surely, the album started to garner critical acclaim. And honestly, if you haven't heard this album, you need to give it a listen. Because from top to bottom, MF Doom was rapping like the rent was due. On the cover of the album, he paid a nod to his love for comic books, showing a comic version of him rapping into a mic. Doom would also experiment with alter egos on this album, like King Ghidorah, who was a three-headed alien based off of Godzilla's nemesis, King Ghidorah. Crazy enough, in 2003, he actually dropped a full project based off this persona. This project was titled Take Me to Your Leader, and again, it received critical praise for his masterful production as well as his conceptual brilliance. It also cemented MF Doom as an artist who was not afraid to push boundaries in his music. Although these albums were amazing, they were still underground and really only got critical success. His first commercial success was Madvillainy, which he created with producer Madlib. Crazy enough, this album almost didn't come out, because while the two were working on it, somebody stole the album and leaked it to the internet. Obviously upset, they stopped working on it, until a few months later after they both released solo projects. Luckily for us, it did eventually come out, peaking at number 179 on the Billboard charts. For many, this is MF Doom's magnum opus, and from this point forward, he would continue with his career dropping more albums, while also producing tracks for other rappers. The success of Madvillainy wasn't just a win for Doom and Madlib, but it was a defining moment for experimental hip-hop, with artists like Kanye West and Drake openly praising the album, while younger artists like Earl Sweatshirt and Joey Badass consider it a masterclass in blending intricate lyrics with unconventional beats. In 2007, MF Doom had his first taste of real backlash from the industry, after it was reported that the rapper who always wore a mask was using the iconic headpiece to skip out on his own gigs, sending what's now known as DOOMposters in his place. In 2008, one of these fake imposters were actually booed off of the stage after the DJ couldn't get the equipment to work for over an hour. When MF Doom finally came out, it appeared to be a fake, and after only about 1 minute, the crowd caught on. Here, you can hear someone scream from the crowd, "That's not Doom."
Yo, it's not Doom! Yo.
Dude, that shit's fucked up.
A few moments later, you can hear another fan scream, "That's Imposter Doom."
Imposter Doom! It is, it's Imposter Doom! What? I can't even hear you, motherfucker!
And in another clip, you can hear someone complain about the lip singing, as well as the whack DJ.
That shit was lip syncing!
That's your DJ's unit is
Yeah,
fucked.
whatever, bro! DJ Whack!
At this point, the crowd was livid, and the imposter Doom had no choice but to leave, with the crowd chanting bullshit while he walked out.
I call bullshit on you! Hey, me too, you son of a bitch!
In 2009, MF Doom actually admitted to these imposter concerts. This was during an interview with Hiphop DX. He basically said that he's a director as well as a writer, and that he chooses different characters and decides where he puts them, adding that people need to think more outside of the box. In my opinion, it seems that MF Doom was just trying to find a way out of this one, because he knows fans are not paying to see no imposter, they want to see him. Either way, things got so bad that in 2010, MF Doom had to clarify that it was actually him performing, lifting his mask, saying it's actually me.
I am the super motherfucking villain. So y'all know that though, right? It's really me. It's really me.
In 2010, MF Doom faced another career setback. You see, in early 2010, MF Doom embarked on a 5-show European tour. This tour was actually his first time performing outside of North America. After the completion of the tour, MF Doom attempted to fly back to America. That's when he was notified that he was denied entry. Despite spending almost all of his life here, Doom was not an American citizen. At this point, Doom decided that he was going to live where he was born, in the UK. While in London, the already reclusive Doom had even more of a low profile, and would only really be seen or heard during shows and in his music. One rare occasion when Doom was spotted out during this time is when he was out driving RC cars with his son, a hobby that MF Doom enjoyed a lot. This outing is also where the now iconic photo of the two was taken. Tragically, on December 18th, 2017, MF Doom lost his son at only 14 years old. And just like he does with everything else, he kept this pretty private, so nobody outside of his family really knows what happened. And just like after the death of Subroc, Doom became even more of a recluse than he already was. So between the time of 2017 and 2021, You would only hear him on a few features. And that brings us to October 31st, 2021. Where MF Doom tragically passed away. The details around his death were kept hidden for a long time. That's until 2023 when his wife Jasmine Dumille broke her silence on the situation, sharing details of his death that up until this point fans had never heard. According to her, MF Doom was suffering from a really high blood pressure, which caused him to gain a significant amount of weight. Obviously worried about his health, he went to see a doctor, where he was prescribed a medication that caused a severe allergic reaction. After only 2 doses, the medication made his throat and tongue swell, making it hard for Doom to breathe. In the days leading up to his death, he called his wife to tell her that he loved her, and to also let her know that he just wasn't feeling good. Sadly, due to COVID-19, his wife wasn't able to see him until after he died. The saddest fact of it all is that it very well could have been prevented, because according to her legal defense team, in his final moments, MF Doom couldn't even ask for help, because the buzzer to press for a nurse was out of his reach. Sadly, due to overswelling and lack of attention, MF Doom passed away, leaving behind a legacy that could rival any rapper, as well as an influence that might never be matched. There's a reason he goes by your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, or maybe even check out one of my other videos. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.
Hey, why spend Christmas Eve waiting for some extra fat white dude to come busting through the ceiling when you could spend Christmas Eve with yours truly, the super villain, Doom?